the first thing I wanted to mention is I believe you and I are the same age. Born the same year.
63?
I'm 77.
Okay.
No, I was born in 1963. Yeah,
me too.
So we're both the same age, and you guys are headed out on a tour, the M72 tour, and you guys are leaving. This is going to come out pretty soon, this tour. You've got this new album, 72 Seasons, and I've been listening to this one track, Lux Eterna, on it, which I listened to this track, and I'm thinking, these guys have not lost a step.
Well, thank you.
No, but I mean, this could have been 1981. It's stunning to me. You guys, you know what you're doing. You know exactly what you're doing. And here it is all these years later. You're headed out on this massive tour that's going to last 2 years. If someone told me I was going out for 2 weeks on a tour right now, I would find the nearest chair and beat them with it.
Run over to Jack's house.
Yeah. I would hide under all his CDs. I don't know how. How do you? I mean, at this point in your life, the physicality, the amount of determination it takes, it just blows my mind.
The easy answer is that it doesn't get any easier whatsoever. And as I've been explaining this in the last week or two, as I've started hearing myself do interviews again about this, around this new project, it takes twice the effort or more just to reach the same level, just to plateau. So it's not, I'm on the Peloton an hour and a half a day and I'm working out and I'm watching what I'm eating and I'm being healthy and all that to get better. It's just to stay the same at this age. But, I take it seriously. All of us in our own ways take it seriously. All of us have different routines, our own unique ways of approaching it. And the main thing is that when we get up on that stage, we want to be there for the other guys in the band and obviously for the audience and be the best we can be. I do find myself often at a sort of crossroads in my mind where it's like I eat the same shit for breakfast every day. I eat the same shit for lunch every day. I eat more or less the same thing for dinner every day. I'm very, very routine-based, and I really like to be in that routine. Mm-hmm. But as soon as I'm out of that routine, it's like, I need my tofu for dinner, and I need my protein, and I need this and that. And then I kind of sit there and go, really? You can't just go to a restaurant with your friends and have like what's on the menu? You got to be that rigid. So there is that kind of rigid thing that you really feel that that's how you get to the place where you can be your best every day at those shows. The other side of that, if you could sit here with your 22-year-old and go, really, that's what you've become? So it's sort of, it's like it's a constant battle between those two approaches. But somebody said a couple of weeks ago when I was explaining these new lifestyle choices, as we call them, he said, it sounds like it feels good to feel good. Yeah. And I like that. I still occasionally drink, but it's like once a month now. And I eat my protein and my yogurt and my egg whites and my tofu.
You're describing the rock and roll dream.
That's right.
This is the funny thing.
There, this is where you're going to end up if you want to keep doing this.
There are so many kids. There's so many kids since like 1981 that'd be like, I want to be James Hetfield. I want to be Lars Ulrich. That's my dream. And to find out later on that it's okay.
It's tofu and egg whites.
9 hours of sleep a night. Hydrate. Avoid the sun. Check your stool every day.
That's right.
To make sure there's no corn in there.
This is. But this is the way life goes.
This is the way it goes. The best. This is my favorite analogy. My favorite analogy for life and aging, and it's not funny, but it's very profound, and it's something that I think about a lot. Is that when you're born, you're dropped into a fast current. And so you don't even have to do anything, and you just start growing taller, you start getting muscle, you start, everything, and then the current starts to slow down in your late 20s, early 30s, and then 40, and then the current kind of stands still. So in order to make any progress, you need to kind of, then the current starts moving against you. So that in order to just stay in the same place, you need to start doing butterfly strokes and working hard. And what you're describing makes sense, which is what we were just doing in Norway, shooting this TV project. I did the same thing as you.
Yeah.
I was my weight, and I was working out. I was eating right and everything, just so I could run around and be the jackass that I was 25 years
ago.
Doing nothing.
And you know what? I mean, as easy it is to make fun of, and we can sit here and blah blah blah. But I like when I'm up on stage and I feel strong and I'm in that moment, and the four of us are connecting, and we're connecting with an audience, whatever the size is. All of it's worth it.
Yeah.
All of it's worth it. And I do actually, I'm 20 pounds lighter now than I was at the peak or the bottom, however you look at it, of the pandemic.
Mm-hmm.
And I actually feel good and, proactive, and we get shit done and we move shit forward, and it's kind of cool.
Well,
and
so
it's not.
You can't do what you do. You cannot do those shows.
No.
And you just cannot do it. I mean, to think about what it takes, the caloric burn, but also the concentration.
It's also the mental element of it. If you feel good, like the analogy, for instance, with alcohol is that if I have a couple glasses of wine, a couple glasses of champagne, it's not really going to affect the show the next day. But a couple of glasses of wine will affect my sleep. Yeah. Because then I got to go up and go to the bathroom 2-3 times or whatever. And then the sleep affects the mood the next day. And then the mood and the sleep and all that shit then affects the 2.5 hours on stage. So there's a domino effect at play here that you have to be respectful to. But listen, who would have thought that, coming up on 41 years later, that Metallica would still be functioning, would still be relevant enough to be sitting here with you guys, thank you very much. Still
You're
be, going out there, going out there and playing, a 2-year
You cleared a high
tour.
bar, Lars.
Going out there and playing a 2-year tour and putting records out that still connect with people, and even in the wake of something like Stranger Things last summer,
I know that was crazy.
Reaching more and more people. Who the fuck would have thought that 40 years ago?
Well,
or even if we were sitting 20 years ago and going, in 23, the biggest rock bands in the world would be the Chili Peppers and Guns N' Roses and AC/DC and Metallica or whatever. You would be going, no, there'll be a whole new, younger generation coming in and dethroning everybody, who was big 20 years ago. And we'll all be, in retirement homes somewhere. And we're still out here doing it. And Guns are still out here doing it. And AC/DC is out here, and so on and so forth. That's a crazy thing. Yeah. And who would have, again, thought, if you take it a step further and say, McCartney just turned 80. He's still out there.
Yeah.
Jagger is doing all those sexy bum wiggles better than he's ever done and connecting. But I mean,
but he's doing it against his own. He can't stop. Now it's involuntary.
No, but the Stones.
Turns out it was always that way.
It's a spasm.
It was always that way.
It's certainly it's inspiring, and I think that as long as the shoulders and the necks and the knees and the backs and all of it, if they keep functioning. On the 4 Metallica guys, we'll keep doing this hopefully for another 20 years, egg whites and tofu included.